Well, hello, welcome again to reading the Greek New Testament, and I'm just reading through Philippians chapter 2 up to verse 19. And this is Paul's proposal to send Timothy to the Philippians. Again, this is not an easy passage. It's got a lot of very rare vocabulary in it, although for the most part it's not too difficult to translate once you know what the individual words mean. So in 19, Elpisto de en kurio Jesu Timotheon takios pempsai humin hinakago eupsuko gnus ta perihumon. Now, elpisto, I hope, or can mean I expect in Greek. So, but I expect to send Timothy quickly to you in the Lord Jesus. So this, I think, is a little bit like the Arabic inshallah. So I expect, God willing, it's probably the sense of it here. So I expect in the Lord Jesus to send Timothy quickly, whom in to you, hina cargo, this is kai ego, in order that I also am psuko, well, might be of good cheer. It's you plus psuk, that my heart may be happy. The verb, it's eupsukeo, it's an epsilon contract verb. It's only here in the New Testament. It's not classical, but apparently the word does appear on Hellenistic gravestones and also letters of condolence. So it means to be of good cheer. So in order that I might be cheered up, gnus, participle from gnosko, having known ta perihumon, the affairs regarding you. So in other words, your situation, what's happening, your end. Udena ga echo isopsukon hostis gnesios ta perihumon merimnesthe. For I have udena no one isopsukon. This is again a extremely rare word. It does appear in Aeschylus as Agamemnon in 1470. And it's once in the Septuagint, but otherwise very rare. It means one of equal soul, so one who shares my concern, perhaps soulmate almost. Who, this is a future here from Merimenao, so who will have concern, Gnesios adverb, genuinely, in the things regarding you. So who generally will have a concern for your affairs. Gnesios is only here in the New Testament, does occur in the Septuagint, but it's also a very common, well, reasonably common classical word. Hoi pantes ga ta heauton cetusin u ta Jesu Christu. For everyone, they are all seeking their own things, and not the things of Jesus the Messiah, of Jesus Christ. Ten dedokimen autu ginoskete, hotihos patri teknon sun emoi, edulusen es to euangelion. But now, this is referring, again, it's slightly obscure, it's referring to Timothy. So, you know the dokimain autu, you know his, proven fitness. This is connected with this verb of testing, dokimasto. Credentials might be a nice translation here. So, you know his credentials, now again we get variations here. So it's either as a son to his father, he has served with me in regard to the gospel, or it could mean as a son with me as his father, he has served in regard to the gospel. Probably not a great deal of difference between the two, but there's the various ways of taking this, whether we take the sun emoi with patri, or whether we take the teknon directly with patri. Tuton menun elpisdo pempsai hos an aphido ta peri emma exautes. So therefore I expect, or I hope, for Elpisdo to send him hos, so that, now the aphido is from apa plus the root, the aorist from horao, aorist adon, and the root is id, so this is a subjunctive after hos an. So it's something like when I, for the hos an, or perhaps so that I might, so it can either be so that I might get a view of, from aphido, i.e. to look perhaps from the past to the future, in respect of the things regarding me, ex autes, at once or immediately. So he's saying here, I expect or I hope then to send him. Now it's either perhaps whenever, or perhaps as soon as I might get a view of my own situation, because he's in prison, of course. So I think the hosan here is to be taken as temporal. So when so as soon as I get a view of my own situation, as soon as I get a handle on what's going on in my life. Pepoitha de en curio hoti kai autos takios eleusomai. But I trust, there's that pepoitha again we've seen before, that perfect in form, present in meaning, and it takes a dative, for I trust in the Lord that I myself, kai, also will come quickly. Eleusomai is the koine future of erkomai. In classical Greek, of course, it's eimi ibo, but in later Greek, and in fact in Ionic Greek, it's eleusomai. You'll see it in Herodotus as well as the future of erkomai. Anenkion de hege samein Epaphroditon tonadelphon kai sunergon kai sustratio ten mu humon de apostolon kai leturgon tes creos mu pempsai pros humas. This is a typical example of where Paul sets out to say something and he gets carried away in the middle, and we have to perhaps do a little bit of jigsaw puzzle here to see what he was really meant. So he says, hege semain, from hege amai, so I thought that it was anenkion, it was imperative, it was necessary. Now we've got to go all the way down here. He says to send Epaphroditus, the brother Epaphroditus, to you. And the rest is parenthetical. So I decided it was expedient, it was necessary to send Epaphroditus, my brother, to you, who is both a sun ergon, a fellow worker, kai sus stratiotein, this is from sun plus stratiotes is a soldier, who is both my fellow worker and my fellow soldier, and he is the apostolon humon, not apostle here perhaps, but something like messenger, or delegated messenger, perhaps emissary might be the right word here, an emissary for you, and a liturgon, a minister of my need. We saw that root in the earlier part of this chapter. So you might translate, who ministers to my need. So I thought it necessary to send him to you. Epade epipothon ein pantas humos kai ademonon dioti ecusiti hoti es thenesen. So epade, since now we get a periphrastic present here, imperfect here. He was desiring. So he was desiring all of you, that is to see all of you. Now, of course, this Epaphroditus is mentioned only here and again in chapter 4, verse 18 in the New Testament. He was likely a Gentile convert. There are various traditions that he was Nero's secretary and later became a bishop, but these are probably just later inventions, pious inventions. So he's desiring to understand, to see all of you, kai ademonon, from ademoneo. The exact etymology of this word is not secure, and it's late and it's relatively rare outside of the New Testament. It's possible that it comes from alpha privative plus demos, away from home, and hence it has the meaning. It's often translated to be troubled or dismayed, but it's just possible that it may have the sense of homesick, that he disliked being away from home, away from his people. So since he was desiring all of you and either homesick or dismayed, because you heard that, this is from asthenio, that he was sick. Asthenio means literally not to have stenos, not to have strength, so hence to be weak. But of course, generally if you're ill, you normally don't have much strength, and so asthenio can mean to be weak, it can also mean to be sick. Kaiga astheneson paraplesion thanato. And for he was sick, paraplesion, coming near to death. The word does appear elsewhere, but it's so plesios means near, so near beside, and so hence near to. But this word's only here in biblical Greek. So he was sick, near to death. Alhotheos eileisen auton, ukauton demonon, ala kai eme, hinome lupein epi lupein sko. But God, now this is from el-eo, it's that word meaning to have pity on. So God had pity on him, this is the aorist, not on him alone, ala kai eme, but also on me. So very common idiom in Greek, monon ala kai, not only but also. Hina may, lest, in order that I might not sko as the subjunctive from echo, aorist subjunctive from echo, that I might not have grief upon grief. Spew dioteros epempsa auton, hina idontes auton palin karetai cargo alupoteros o. This is a comparative adverb here from speudios. Speudasdo is to hasten, so speudios is to quick, to act quickly, and this is the comparative adverb. So as quickly as possible. Therefore, I sent him then as quickly as possible, and in order that, having seen him, you might, again, palin, you might rejoice, cargo for kaiego, and I, O is the first person subjunctive from the verb to be, that I might be alupoteros, less sorrowful, a comparative from alupos. Oddly enough, the word only occurs here. It's alpha privative plus that lupe of grief root. pros deceste un auton en curio metapasses caras, caetus toi utus intimus ecete. Hoti dia to ergon Christu mequithanatu angesin paraboliusamenos te psuche hina anaplerose to humon hustere mates pros me liturgias. So receive him then, the imperative, receive him then in the Lord with all joy, and it's have here, so it has the sense of hold such ones as entimus, as precious, having time, having honour. So hold him in high esteem, or high. So hold such people like him, such ones as esteemed, or in high esteem, or honoured, or precious, because on account of the work of Christ, angesin, from engisdo, to draw near to, and when with mekri, he drew near even to as far as death. Parabolusamenos, the word occurs only here, and the meaning of this word is not necessarily fixed. There is a cognate verb, the bol root here is like ballo. There's a cognate verb, parabolesthai, which is used of throwing dice, and this may be a metaphor from this, that he was gambling with his life. It's normally rendered as risk or exposed his life to danger, but it may just have that overtone of he gambled with his life, in order that anaplerose, he might fill up to husterema, that which is lacking of you, that is on your part, for service towards me. So the sense here may be that you're not here in Rome to assist me, so he basically stepped into the breach and looked after me in your place, because you weren't here to do it. So probably the sense of it here. So just to render so that he, in order that he might complete the service towards me, that which was lacking on your part, but not meant to be in a nasty way, simply that he's physically not there. So that's the end of chapter 2 of Philippians.